Today, I'll talk about the facial retargeting feature in Macs. This allows expressions from other facial rigs to be used. After retargeting, you can apply AC's motion capture. This involves facial motion capture, using an iPhone or other software for motion capture. First, let's open this interface. This is the facial retarget editor. It's for the retargeting function. There are many tabs here. It has 52 expressions. Each expression needs to be set up. First, we need to add the controllers. These are the controllers for this rig. Make sure to add all facial controllers to this list. You must finalize your controllers at the start. You can't add them later. You can re-add them all at once, but it's important to finalize them at the start. This ensures the expressions work correctly. For example, the mouse expression may have only a few controllers, but if your cheeks and eyes have many other controllers, the final result might not look good. First, we can add the facial controllers. We don't need the body controllers. Let's hide the model for now. We won't display the eyes either. Now, let's select these controllers. Remove the unnecessary ones. Let's select these controllers again. We'll isolate them and add the model back in. Now, let's isolate the selection. At this point, we can try manipulating the controllers. The model has a modifier. This is needed for the next steps. We can delete it. Now let's move the model again. It works. The mouth and the chin. Now we can test these effects. Check if they respond correctly, whether there's a reaction. This record keeps track of the controller's positions. Every expression needs testing. This means after recording the expressions, you can use them for motion capture. After I input the motion capture data, it corresponds to certain expressions. For example, pouting. When the motion capture data comes in, it achieves a certain level of that expression, like opening the mouth. You can set the degree of the jaw's opening here. After recording this, when you open your mouth during motion capture, it corresponds to a certain degree of opening. Initially, try to keep all controllers in a default position. At this point, we select all these controllers. After selecting them all, add them all at once. It's important to determine this at the start. You can also select from here. You can see which controllers you have. This is where, if you have some controllers, you'll find that you can select all the controllers here. If you find that some controllers are missing, you can also, for example, if you delete one, you can add it back in, then re-add it, and it will overwrite all the previous controllers. For instance, if you only select one controller and click Add, it will only have that one controller. At this point, if you select all and add the controllers, it will add them all. Now all the controllers will be added to this list. The first step is to mark a normal pose. This is very important. When all the controllers are in their default positions, you should mark it. Alright, the first record pose is the default pose because all actions need to be done from this default pose. For the next steps, after defining it, we move to the mouth. Now let's do a demonstration. We can show the model for easier observation. At this point, we can pull the mouth down a little bit. After pulling it down, for example, if I want the effect to be this much when the mouth opens, alright, then we mark it. Once marked, we click on normal again, and it will return to the normal pose, and it will return to the mouse pose. Click on mouse. This means each controller corresponds to a pose. This pose represents the mouth opening, while this one is for closing. There's a small feature here. For example, when you're creating a mouth pose, you need to return to the default pose. You can also click on normal pose. After marking this pose, clicking normal pose will bring you back to the default pose. Once you get familiar with it, you can enable Auto Normal, which automatically returns to the normal pose after you set each pose. So, after setting a pose, it will revert back to the default, automatically return to the normal pose. Now we can give it a try. For example, I'll first return to the normal pose. Now I want to create a crooked mouth expression. I'll adjust it now. At this point, I'll click on Record Pose. After marking it, it automatically returns to normal. However, if you click on the effect, it will still appear. This makes it convenient for you to return to the normal pose after creating each pose. For example, for this left-leaning pose, you record it and it will revert back. You won't have to click each time. Just mark one, and you're good to go. This makes it very convenient and quick. Some actions can be quite complex, and clicking every time can be a hassle. At this point, you need a bit of patience. You need to mark each corresponding expression, one by one. These are all expressions, set based on the effects shown in the animations. You need to set them up yourself. Make sure to mark all of them. After marking them, the red circle will disappear. If you want to cancel this pose, just click Delete, and it will clear the data. It will no longer have that action. Once you've marked all the expressions, you can save a template. Here you have the option for templates. This template can be saved externally as a separate file. For example, if you have another model that uses the same controllers, you just need to import this template, and it will set up all the expressions for you. Make sure the template is associated with the corresponding expressions. Of course, the names of the controllers need to match. There might be some differences in the intensity. This is because it records the intensity of the current file's expressions, but it allows you to quickly have a reference. Let's set up this as template. First, let's delete it. We can close this. At this point, all expressions should be gone. They will be in the global section. Now, because we recorded a template earlier, let's set this as. Okay, it's set up. All of these previous controllers are back. We can select here. All the controllers are here. Let's take another look at the expressions. These can be animated, including the eyes, closing the eyes and such. Okay, after this step, let's return to normal. These two models, these two faces. We need to add a morpher layer. This will apply the expressions we just created. There are 52 expressions. Let's add them. We select these two models. Select as many models as you have. Click on Add Morpher. Good, it will add a morpher to each of these two models. After adding, we can take a look. Here, we can set the morpher. Once the morpher is set up, we can proceed to face capture. Face capture is detailed in another tutorial. It's a tutorial for max face capture. You can check it out. Here, I'll demonstrate. First, let's look at this service. Now, let's select this model. Click to connect. You can see the model moving now. It moves according to the redirected effects. For example, how much the mouth opens. It sets the data for these morphers. We select both models. Connect them both. Now it's a bit laggy. It might be a problem with my internet speed. At this point, we can add expression markers. Export to AC. Now we can export the animations. Let's pause it for a moment. There are two functions here. The most important one is that before we export the animation, we need to reset the morpher data to 0. Click Morpher 0. All the morphers will be reset to 0. This also applies to. We'll add a morpher here. Morpher. We need to add a morpher on this side. Add here. Because it's a ray download, it's not an AC facial binding. After adding, we can also test it here. Yes, it's available. At this point, we must select this node, not the controller. Select this node. Now we open AC. This is the animation saved in AC. Right-click here, select Max. Click this. It will show you the animation is from frame 0 to 197. Click Yes. It will start importing. It will map to the corresponding controller. This restores the animation. Now let's play it. You can see it. Put the AC interface beside it for comparison. You can see the effects are identical. This means we imported the animation successfully. Well, that's the overall function. Thanks everyone.